Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. And we are live and we are with the leaders of the future. That's a special show today. And we have Neo and Hadar and Sanjana and Sahil. That's how I say it, correct?
You got it perfect.
Excellentos. So first, I would like to start with each one of you saying a few words about you. So the people that are watching us will know who you are and maybe why are you on the show. So Hadar, why don't you start?
Well, I'm Hadar, and I'm your daughter. I graduated from the Delphian School, and now I'm here in South Africa, and I'm working for you.
Yeah.
Working with you.
Creating miracles, helping people. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Neo.
Hello, I'm Neo. I'm obviously your son and Hadar's brother. I'm currently at Delphi and just working at home as well.
Excellent, nice. Okay, Sanjana.
Hi, my name's Sanjana. I'm 16 years old and I wrote my first book when I was 12 years old. And I was very happy about that, and because of that, I got to meet so many amazing people, including you, Meir, amazing your kids I'm meeting for the first time. I'm so excited to be here. And this is my brother, Sahil.
Hi, Sahil, how are you? How old are you?
I'm 10 years old.
Ooh, wow. And tell us about you, what you're doing.
So I love school, and this year I'm in grade 5.
Yeah.
And today I'm excited to be here and meet every one of you and just ask you questions and get to know more.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I see your mom is here on the chat. Swapna, hello. And there are some other people on the chat that's saying hello. Everyone is very happy to see you and excited about this show. So Hadar, why don't you start with the first question?
Okay, so this show is about the leaders of the future, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly is a leader? What qualifies someone to be a leader?
Okay, that's a good question. And I think it is something that people have lots of confusion around because they think that leader is someone that is at a position of power or someone that has been elected or something like that. But actually, leaders are actually those people that can get other people to bring results. A leader is someone that can get other people to bring results, and good leaders are specialized in bringing pro-survival results, and bad leaders specialize in bringing counter-survival results, but they're still leaders. So leaders is only your ability to bring results, and it applies to a group, it applies to your friends, it applies to getting your body to bring results, making sure that your body brings the expected results, and it applies even to make sure that your seniors, like your parents or your managers or anyone around you actually bring results. So when you are a leader, you bring results from people below you, from yourself and people above you. And if you cannot do all those, you're not a leader. If you can bring the result only from some people, but not from all, you're not a leader. So a leader is someone that can bring result. Now, the less force the leader uses, the better a leader is. The more force you use, the less of a leader you are. And if you use a lot of force, eventually you will not be a leader. Because a leader is someone that can bring result or get people to bring result. And people will bring result under duress only for short periods of time. As we know, every slave society eventually rebelled and went against those people that pushed them. So the more force you use, the less of a leader you are.
Wow, I like
Yep.
that.
Thank you. Thank you. Good question. I like the
Thank
question.
you.
Okay, Sanjana, why don't you ask me?
I want to know more about you, Meir, and I want to know about your legacy. So if you could tell the world one thing that would in your head.
I cannot hear you. Can you get closer to the microphone? Yeah.
If there was one thing you could tell the world, what would it be?
One thing that I would to tell the world. Okay, so if someone will give me something that I want the world to know, is that regardless of the situation, just know that something can be done about it. The moment that you know that something can be done about it, you have a stable point, that this stable point handle all the confusion. For the moment that you realize that something can be done about the situation, your life will improve. So for example, when we take the corona created a total insanity around the globe, because the assumption was nothing could be done about it. But the reality is that of course something could be done about it, but only for as long as you are not afraid, only for as long as you are not in hysteria, only for as long as you know that your freedom, your decisions are senior to your body, are senior to what happened to you. So the one advice, something can be done about any situation, regardless of how bad it is. And maybe as a bonus advice, it's never as bad as it looks. It's never as bad as it looks. Never, 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 never. It's never as bad as it looks, and something can be done about it. These two things. If you hold it as a stable pieces of data, stable truth, you will see that your life will be very good. You will manage to handle anything in life.
Wow.
Next question. Sashel.
My question is, any way you get hurt, what's the first thing you should do if you get hurt physically?
What's the first thing you should do if you get hurt physically? So you first should look and estimate how good or bad it is. If it is really bad, you need to get medical attention as fast as possible. Yes? That's the first thing. But regardless of how good or how bad it is, if you will know that you created it, you will be able to do something about it. Now, I know it sounds weird, like if someone hit his head by mistake, it seems like it's by mistake. But if you will look carefully, you will see that anything that happened to you in a weird way, it somehow helps you. And the moment that you will realize how you created it, you will be able to improve the situation, not a second before. So there's two parts to you getting hurt physically. Number one, get medical attention, of course. That's the first thing that you need to do. But immediately after you get medical attention, or while you're getting medical attention, figure out how you created it for yourself. How does it help you? And you'll see that realization, if you will actually be able to take responsibility and see how you created it, you will be able to change the condition or to improve it greatly. Make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Niole, your question.
My question is, how does education help make people become leaders?
So I think that most education today actually do not help. It actually destroys. Very seldom you find good education, like in Delphi, for example. that actually cater to making leaders. So what do I mean making leaders? When you learn, you need to learn in the direction, or what's the problem of learning? The problem of learning is that when I'm going to teach you, I'm going to tell you, look, you don't know. And that reduces your self-determinism. And when I reduce your self-determinism, regardless of how much data I give you, you will not use it. So it's become actually useless. So the only way to educate someone is to educate him from the viewpoint that he knows, and you help him to find what's true for him, and he should learn only in the direction of increasing his self-determinism. Your self-determinism as a person, especially for kids and teenagers, is so important that anything that hurts your self-determinism is your enemy.
Okay.
Regardless who is the person, if that person reduces your self-determinism, that person, you need to know, is your enemy, and so ignore them, totally ignore them, be polite to them, and they're adult probably, and so be nice to them and understand that they want to help you from their viewpoint with the limited knowledge that they have. But what they do usually is actually trying to put you in the position where they are. They don't want you to, unknowingly, unintentionally, they will limit you to where you are. You need to make sure that you learn from a totally causative viewpoint when you know that you know, and when you know that the process of learning is not just adding data, but actually deleting fake realities. So you learn with the purpose of realizing something. Not because someone told you, not because the teacher said or the book said, but because the book or the teacher helped you to realize, I got it, now I know. Not I learned, I know. You don't want to say, I've learned this and I've learned that, and Johnny said that, and Socrates said that. That's nonsense, that's parroting. You want to learn in the direction that you say, I know. And from that moment onward, when you know, you can create new things. So the definition of the word clever is a person that can recognize truth, and that's good. But the definition of the word genius is a person that can invent new truths for other people to follow. And that you can do only once you know. So the direction is to make geniuses, not just to be clever. Clever is, anyone can be clever. What we want, what we want is geniuses to get you to not just recognize truth, but to know to such a degree that you will invent new truth for other people to follow. Now we're talking, that's something that's worth living for. Otherwise, anyone can do that. Yes?
Yeah.
Good. Adari, next question.
Okay, so more on the education system. We have a culture like everybody is expected to go to college right after graduate high school, and if they don't, they won't get a degree, and if they don't get a degree, they won't have a good paying job. But it seems that isn't really the case with the amount of people that either drop out of college, or you talk to people and find out that they never actually use what they study from college. They spent 4 years of their life or more for some knowledge they never use. So what would you say is the solution to that problem, or what would you advise people who are coming into and out of high school and have to think about their future?
Okay, so the first thing that I will suggest for a person that getting out of high school is to decide what he wants to have, not what he wants to do. You see, most people say, I want to do this, I want to be an engineer or a carpenter or something, and they decide what they want to do, but they don't know what they want to have. So it's like a robot. A robot do without knowing what he wants to have. What's the difference between a robot and a person? A robot do without knowing what he wants to have. A person know what he wants to have, so he devises a plan what he needs to do so he can become. So what you want to do is define very carefully what you want to have. Exactly, like put into that the most amount of attention and look at that from the widest viewpoint you can. What do you want to have within a year, 5 years, 10, 20 years? What do you want to have? Like, what is it that you want to have? Now, obviously, you two are Jewish, so it's easy. You want money. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But not just money. I'm talking about what you want to have in terms of your body, in terms of your mind, in terms of your family, children, in terms of sex as a mechanism for future survival. What kind of groups do you want to be part of? What would you like mankind to look like? How would you want to look at life forms? What would you like in terms of homes, cars, physical things? And what would you like spiritually? And when you define these things, a magic will happen. You will know what you want to do. Otherwise, you will go after a shiny thing that you will think, I really like to do this thing. And you will go and you spend 5 years, 10 years doing this thing. And you will realize, like most people in society today, that they do something that they don't really like, and they thought that it will be nice, but it's not really nice, but it's too late, and so on. Once you do this, once you write what you want to have, the magic will happen. You will know what you want to do, and then you have two options. If this thing that you want to do require a college education, do it. For example, if you want to be a doctor, you have to go and study to be a doctor. Do it. But in most cases, you don't need to go to study at higher education, and I will not recommend it because most higher education is just making you a bigger parrot. You hear something, you repeat it, you get a result in the test, and in reality, you don't really learn much. You actually become less able, not more able. So I will suggest that my viewpoint is don't go to college unless if what you want to have requires that you will do something that by law requires that you will learn something, then go for it. But if you want to do business, if you want to do most things that people want to do, don't go to college. Find a way to study in a different way that is more bringing results. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Okay, Sanjana, next question.
I have a question as to why do people keep retreating to things that they know are bad for them?
Oh, why people, repeat the question, why people?
Why do people keep going back to things that they know are bad?
Oh, why people keep going back to things that know they're bad? Okay, so when a person do something that seems to be that is not good for him, he secretly know that it is. I'll give an example. Let's say that I smoke, okay? Now, obviously, if you'll ask me logically, I will tell you smoking is not good for you. Smoking is not good for you. But I will have some kind of an explanation that says, despite all the bad, there is something usually hidden from me that tells me that it's okay to do it. It's much better to do it than not to do it, and against that. So the bad that it brings is deteriorate to zero against the good that it brings in my mind. Now, the good is not good by definition. It's good in my mind. And most of the time, this good is not even me. So what do I mean is not even me? You've got the person, and the person have a mind, and you are a spirit. So you can say a person, a mind, and a spirit. Okay? The spirit is the boss. The body is just a slave, and the mind is a bank of memories that you use. Okay? The spirit is incapable of making mistakes. Just incapable of making mistakes. Okay? So, but still people do mistake. Why? Because at some point, the spirit realized that it did something that it was not good. So the spirit goes away and leave the decision to the mind, and the mind always will give you results that are less than optimal, but you really believe the mind. And that's why people do things that are not good for them. And the question is, what's the handling? How do you handle someone that do something that's not so good for him? The only handling is to admire the person. His self-determinism is more important than his body. So if someone smoking or doing something bad, or I don't know, even doing drugs, yes, let's take that to the extreme. The only way is to admire the person for who he is, because the person himself, the spirit is good. The action are not. So the basic laws that I can give you that will help you throughout life is love the person, never his action. Like you love your brother and you love him regardless of his action. His action from time to time may be bad. It may be that he's doing something not good from your viewpoint, but his intention are always good, because the spirit is incapable of doing something bad. The spirit in a body with the mind and all the other nonsense can do something bad. But it is only bad when the spirit is away. And if you want the spirit to come back, if you want the spirit to be part of the equation, the only thing that will wake up the spirit is enough admiration.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you get married, admire the person, not his action. If you have brothers, sisters, admire the spirit, not the action. And only like that you can actually have love. And overall in life, I can tell you that if you look at the worst person in the universe, there's good in him. And if you look at the best person in the universe, there is bad in him. So the only way for us to handle life is to love the person and ignore as much as possible the actions. Things will become beautiful. Okay?
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Next question. Sahil.
So let's say I'm in a bad mood and I want to be in a better mood. What's the first main thing I should do to get in a better mood?
Start producing. Move your body. Get your body to do things. Clean, organize, handle things that you should have handled and you didn't. Do things with your body. Do physical things. Why? When you're in a bad mood, your attention is stuck in the past. Yes? You're worried about something that happened, not something that will happen, but something that happened. Yes? Even if it has future consequences, bad mood is because your attention is stuck in the past. And in order to get out of the past, you need to get to touch and to handle things in the physical universe, in the now. It's not exactly the now, but as much now as we can call it now. So when you touch, when you handle physical things, when you start to handle things that you need to handle, the magic happen. You get yourself out of the past into present time, and life start to look wonderful. There is only one provision that I will put before that. Before you even do that, make sure that you are well fed and rested. because if you are not well fed and rested, you'll see that you can get cranky for no reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Niole.
My next question is, what do you think should be taught in college to better suit leaders and to make it so it's not such a waste of time?
Okay, good. So the first thing that if I would be handling college, what I will do, I will make sure that the people that come into college have all the basic 100% understood. That's the first thing. I would check that the basic understood. I would check a person and will test him not a theoretical test, but application test to get 100%.
Okay.
So, for example, I will get a student to be tested on all kind of practical problems that require calculus, that require geography, that require physics, that requires this knowledge. So that they can actually solve some real life problem or create new things with that knowledge. And before they get that basic 100% in, before they passed 100 by 100%, I will not get them to start studying college.
Okay.
So that will be number one. Number two, I will make sure that, let's say someone wants to become a lawyer, I will get him to study to become a lawyer, but I will make sure that he will graduate only when he actually became a lawyer and won X cases or brought result in the real life. Like actually got result. Not have theoretical knowledge and then have another 10 years of gaining practical knowledge, which he may or may not gain it ever. So I will not qualify a driver if I don't see that he can drive, and I will not qualify a lawyer if I cannot see that he can win cases or do whatever he needs to do as a lawyer. It depends on which area he is. And I will not get a doctor to be a doctor before I will see that he can save X number of lives. Actually apply the data, not have it. So if I have college and they will teach business, I want to see that you can take a business from zero and grow it to hero. Or take a business that is failing and fix it. I want to see a real life application before I will graduate anyone. Because when you teach at college and the result is people that can parrot what they heard, what you create is actually some kind of a trap. Because it seems like the guy is qualified, but when he goes out of college, he knows nothing. He actually knows less than a normal person in the street, but he feels that he knows because he has a certificate. So now it's even harder for him to learn because you make him even more wrong when you teach him. So you see lots of people that finish university or college and they actually don't use what they've studied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. So if I was designing the college curriculum, I will design it in such a way that the only way to pass is by result. Of course, you need to understand the principles and the theory and get 100% there. But I want to see results. I want to see that you can actually apply what you've learned. Anything that I will test them, I will test them on 3 ways. Number 1, duplication. Number 2, application. And number 3, creative application. Everything in college should be tested for 3 levels. Duplication, application, and creative application. And what the result will be that this society, this civilization will become, we would create a golden age in this civilization by that method, if we will do that, that will be totally different viewpoint in life. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Adari, your question.
Okay. My question is, you mentioned earlier about drugs and like when people are on drugs, how to handle them is to just flood them with admiration. So what is it that makes drugs so bad? Like what really happens? Because I think there's like a lot of young people who only see their friends doing it, and it's like, oh, it seems like fun, but why are they not good? Like what makes them bad?
Okay, so as we spoke earlier, the most important thing for a person is his self-determinism. Yes?
Yeah.
When you take drugs, you're giving away your self-determinism. You're just giving away your self-determinism. At the beginning, it's for a short period of time. And the more you use drugs, the worse it gets. Why? Because when you take drugs, the pictures in your mind get so mixed up that you start to get commands from those pictures, or to get even more accurate, okay? So even if it might be not so real for everyone, I think it's important for you to understand, so I will explain to you. So, the body has the body, the spirit, and the mind, okay? But the body also have something that I call entities. Entities is some other life forms or life forces that actually cause the body to operate. In normal situation, when a person just grows and so on, those life forms are generally weak and they are operating in a very specific manner to run the body. And when over the years, the spirit become weaker and weaker and weaker, those life forms become stronger. What's the difference between those life forms and the spirit? The spirit is set on good, set on ethics, set on what's right. And those life forms are set on what's wrong. They want wrong. And this, many times people have this conflict. Should I do something? Should I do something? I know it's good, but maybe it's bad. The conflict is between the spirit and those entities. When you take drugs, you become weaker, you're the spirit, and the entities become so strong. They get hold of you totally, and every single time you take drugs, it's like you gave them steroids. It's like you took them to a very long session in the gym, and they become stronger and stronger and stronger. And you will see that people on drugs find it very hard to kick it off because they're fighting against this whole organization of entities that tell them, you need it, you need it, you need it. And they basically overtake you. And they are set on destruction. They are so set on destruction that when you are sober, when you are not under the influence, you say, well, of course I can kick it. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. But when they start to move in, when they need the drug, because you don't need the drug, the spirit don't need the drug, they need the drug. When they need the drug, they mess up the whole body because they're responsible for running the body. They are the organization that run the different parts of the body. And when those things when they need the drugs, they will do anything to the body. They will destroy the body. They will do anything with the pictures. They will mess you up for one purpose. Give us the drug, because every time you give them the drug, you become less you and they become more them, up to the point where you basically just a body with entities. There is no you anymore. And if you've seen someone that heavy on drugs or drink a lot, etc., you see that the actual beautiful, unbelievable spirit is not there and nothing left there. There's no one to talk to. The only thing that you talk to is a person that have no regards to ethics, no regards to honor, no regards to what's right and what's wrong. And you can find a child that will steal from his parents or that will hurt his parents. Although his parents love him all his life and supported him, and people will do terrible things. It's not the person anymore. It's the entities. That's why drugs are so deadly. Not because the damage to the body. I don't care if someone does something that damages his body. It's only a machine. It's nothing. I do care when something push away the spirit and degrade the spirit to such a point where the spirit become nothing, because that spirit not only getting hurt now, but for many, many, many years to come, many lifetimes to come, this spirit is in a really bad condition. So drugs is a big no-no, but yet if someone decides to take drug, admire him, because only admiration would bring back the spirit.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a bit of a wow explanation, I know, maybe unexpected.
It was good.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, Sanjana.
I have a very simple question, and it's, how can I be a better friend to my friends?
How can you be a better friend? Okay, so you need to understand what is a friend and what a friend is doing. Okay, so a friend is someone that cannot see problems with his friend, cannot see anything bad with the other person, and you are a friend, and the friendship is actually demonstrated only when, let's say I'm your friend, my friendship to you will be demonstrated only when you attack me, when you invite me not to be your friend. At that moment, can I actually, despite all your attack, despite all your hatred, despite everything, can I continue to be your friend? You will ask me, you will beg me not to be your friend. You will shoot me, you will talk badly about me, you'll do all kind of bad things about me, against me. The question is, can I still be your friend despite all those actions? If yes, then I'm a friend. So how can you be a better friend? Number one, don't see anything bad with your friend. Don't allow anyone to see anything bad with your friend. Always admire your friend. And whatever happen, don't talk badly about your friend to other people. And if you see anyone even hinting that something remotely is wrong with your friend, make sure he's dead. Not physically, yes? Just shoot them, like give them the look that basically killed them. Okay.
Thank you.
What? I cannot hear you. Okay, hold on. The problem is on my side. Give me a second. One second. My amplifier just got turned off. And it is coming on within another 3, 2, 1. It's on.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Sashil, your turn.
So right now we're Zoom and we're teaching. So would you say teaching is more important, or would you say learning is more important?
Teaching or?
Learning.
Or learning. Okay. So teaching generally will be more important, because teaching you teach many people, and learning you learn as a person. So the greatest good will be teaching. So if I'm teaching at least one person, which means it's one-on-one. So teaching and learning is let's say they're the same. It's not the same. But when I teach someone, usually I teach many people, and it's implied that you teach many people, so it's more important. What else? Why teaching is more important? Because if you are on earth, you have fake realities. Fake reality is a piece of data that you are 100% sure is right, but when you use it, it doesn't bring the expected result. Most people need a teacher in order to assist them to remove the fake realities. And that's why teaching is more important than learning, but only if the teaching is in the direction of making you self-determined, actually proving you that you don't need to learn, proving you that you know. The only purpose of teaching should be proving the student that he actually knows. The only purpose of teaching should be proving to the student that he actually knows. And it sounds weird, but you will see that there is a level that a person at the beginning would want to get knowledge. But knowledge, there is just so much knowledge that you have, but the possibility of what you could know is endless. So there is so much knowledge that you can have about this planet and blah, blah, blah. But the possibility about this whole universe is so huge, so much bigger than Earth or much bigger than what we know as knowledge, that the possibility of knowing is order of magnitude bigger than knowledge. And the problem with knowledge is once you get knowledge, you stop knowing. So you need to use knowledge in the direction of knowing, not in the direction of collecting data. Or in other words, you need to learn in the direction of making you the source of everything that you know. You need to be the source for everything that you know. You should never rely on a book or a person or anyone for what you know. You should know because you know. Even if you learn, let's say you learn from someone something, let's say you learn from Socrates something, you need to make it yours to such a degree that from your viewpoint, you invented it. You need to know it to such a degree that from your viewpoint, you invented it. Otherwise, you will not be able even to use it. It will be just a waste of time for you to get the knowledge because you became just a parrot. Socrates said, and you say, Socrates say, blah, blah, blah. Every person that you see that says, Socrates say, or Johnny say, or the Bible say, or something says, and that's what they do all day long, they basically not themselves, and they may be very good parrots, but they cannot apply anything. And if you check their life, you'll see that their life is not doing so well. Make sense?
Yes.
Good. Niole, you're welcome. Niole, last question before we end.
My question is, what job do you think people should choose in accordance to what you think, what they think they will enjoy and being a leader?
Yeah, I think people should choose a job, as I said earlier, based on what they want to have, not based on what they want to do.
Okay,
You see,
yeah, I get that, but I'm saying, like, let's say a guy wants like a bunch of money, right? And he knows that he will enjoy something more, but make less money. So what do you think he should do in that
based on
case?
what you want to have. What does he want to have?
Money.
If you want to have money, then wonderful. So let's take an example of a guy that want to have money, but he will enjoy drinking. Okay.
Okay.
So you say, no, I want to go now and drink. And he will drink. The damage from the drinking, not because of the physical damage from the drinking, the damage is that he actually went against his purpose. Why? Because what does it mean, purpose? Purpose is what you do in order to get what you want to have. But if you go in and you drink because that's bring you fun, what you say is, look, fun is something that someone give me, is not something that I give things. And when things started to give you joy and not you put joy into things, you become just a slave. So in anything in life, if you want to know, should I do it or not? The question is, do I put the joy into it or does it give me the joy?
Okay.
If it gives me the joy, while it might be fun it will destroy me eventually.
Yeah.
Anything in life, do I put the joy into it, or does it give me joy? If it gives me joy, it's usually going, or it's not, it's always eventually going to destroy me. So the question is, do I put the joy into things, or do I expect things to give me joy? That will be the answer. Okay, so before we finish, I just want to say hi to everyone. I see Steve Badzik is here, and look what he says. And he says, these kids are so special. And I agree with him. This is so powerful. All kids need to hear this. And we've got a Facebook user that give us a lot of hearts. And Nomi say, wow, she loves it and great. And Margaret says, this is so brilliant, so needed. And we've got Amit that says, thank you, Bonnie, probably. And Sophie, Hadar, I have curly hair just like you. Yes, she does. Yes. And she's beautiful like you. Replying to Amit, your kids are amazing. Yes, and Margaret here, and Nomi, and Eva say, I agree. Same for university. And we have lots of comments. Lots of comments. This is the best, the most amazing children, except mine, on this earth. So beautiful, Margaret, you are right. Amazing advice. And we have more and more people. Correct, sir. And Amit again, and Carmela. Hello, beautiful people. And Aaron is here. We have a lot of comments, a lot, and it's going on and on. And Pedro, and Madhu, and lots, and whoa, lots of people. And of course, Swapna is here. A lot of people, everyone really love this show. Everyone love you, kids. Yes, everyone loves you, and I think you helped a lot of people, and you should be very happy. What I want to suggest to everyone, if you want to learn more about relationship, if you want to learn more about family, if you want to learn more about parenting, go to meirezra.com/family. You can find there free recordings of webinars that will change your viewpoint on relationship, on life, on family, on children, and basically every aspect of life, on life. And Hadar did a lot of the work on that landing page, so, or in that website generally. So you will see Hadar's work. And that's all for today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you. I love you. Love you. And I will see you on next Wednesday. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.